I'm traveling along the west coast of Italy, exploring the places that for me celebrates the very best that these shores have to offer. From the beaches of Tuscany, the breathtaking island of Capri, right down to the southern tip of the Boot and the Aeolian Islands. Tonight, my culinary journey takes me to an island very close to my heart, the Tuscan island of Elba.
I came on holiday to Elba with my family when I was just a nipper. It's my first memory I have of going on holiday, and for me, it felt like we were going abroad.
Shaped like a giant whale, sat 6 miles off the coast of Tuscany, it's a hotspot for holidaymakers. With 91 miles of coastline, boasting 150 beaches, all surrounded by irresistible, clear azure sea. So first, I'm making a splash Gino style off the east coast of the island.
Isola d'Elba is famous for its water sport. You should come here and enjoy yourself! Woo!
As a kid on holiday here, I always loved messing about on the water. But I've been told under the Elban waves is something special I need to explore.
From the thrills above to the tranquility below.
Elba is the largest of 7 islands, which make up the Tuscan archipelago, the biggest marine park in Europe.
I can't believe my eyes. Beautifully preserved coral reefs full of sea life. I feel like I'm in the Caribbean.
I even spot one of the most traditional dishes found on every Elban menu.
Oh wow, an octopus! Amazing! I can't believe I'm seeing one of these so close up in the wild.
Wow, this experience has been incredible. I didn't even know that Italy had coral reefs. If you come here on the Isola d'Elba, you're gonna have to go down the water and see what I've seen. I am so lucky.
And there is much more to Elba than its beaches and water sports, as it's an 86 square mile island that's also steeped in history and culture. So back on dry land, I'm heading to Portofrio, the largest town on the island. As the gateway to Elba, throughout history, Portofrio has had to defend the island from unwelcome visitors, especially pirates. So a strong fortress was built at its center.
These huge walls were built to protect the islanders from the pirates that plagued the coast. Standing up close, you can almost hear the cannons being fired.
Bad news for pirates, but these forts were very attractive to the island's most famous residents, Emperor Napoleon, who in 1814 was forced to leave France and chose to live on Elba whilst in exile. Local expert Fernando was happy to tell me more.
Since I can remember when I was a little boy, it's always Napoleon here, Napoleon that, Napoleon did this, Napoleon did that.
Napoleon is very famous for the British. It's nice because you won against Napoleon, so it's nice to remember Napoleon.
No, we remember everybody that we destroy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
But do you guys talk French?
No, but our language, our accent is so.
It's gonna like a French.
Yeah, we have.
Okay, let's stop that because I don't want an Italian island to start to talk French. All right.
Okay,
So let's talk with everybody. As Gino said, no more French talking.
Napoleon only reigned on Elba for 10 months, but still made big changes, building roads, overhauling the legal and education systems, and even redesigning the flag.
there's this white flag with the red stripes and 3 bees. And Napoleon chose the three bees because we have a lot of bees and honey. We are famous for honey.
All this is really fascinating me. And I know that there is a Napoleon house around here, which I'm going to go and visit now.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if he's in.
Of course.
Maybe get a coffee.
Napoleon's home here in Portofrio was this lemon-colored villa, which he had designed in a Tuscan style, with formal gardens and views overlooking the sea. And today, it's a museum. Imagining the famous emperor here really is getting me thinking.
So this is Napoleon's bed. How Napoleon and Josephine did the, you know what I mean? Seems a bit small to me.
Napoleon is still celebrated by the people of Elba today. But as a chef, I'm keen to learn about the island's other most celebrated residents, its bees, and of course, their honey. So, I'm traveling inland to the center of the island to meet Roberto, a bee whisperer who's dedicated all his life to protecting the bee and making fantastic honey. 9 miles east, perched in the foothills of Mount Capanello, Roberto and his family have created a sanctuary for bees in their beautiful herb garden.
Quindi ora che stai facendo con questi alberi?
At 80 plus, he still passionately tends to around 40 hives every day. And in return, the bees makes his family award-winning Alban honey. Roberto says his bees are docile and no longer sting him. But with these looks, I'm not taking any chances.
Roberto, I'm ready. Guarda, just in case they attack me.
Bisogna
Che
scappare.
succede col fumo?
Il fumo è un campanello, come andare in una casa e suonare e bussare alla porta.
It's very important to puff some of the smoke. If you don't do that, you're gonna get attacked. In this case, he will be fully attacked because I'm fully protected.
Thanks to a diverse range of plants on the island, including rosemary and eucalyptus, Alban honey is unique for its distinct flavorings.
I'm going for a tasting. Bees be nice. Very clear color. Buono. Wow. Really different from the usual honey you buy in the supermarket. It's not as sweet as the commercial one. It's just incredible. So ora ci parliamo?
Sì.
Yum.
Roberto is also known as the bee whisperer.
So he's now going to show me how he whispers to the bees. The bees can only hear 2 frequencies, and one of the frequencies is what he can make with his mouth. He actually said to me, they completely freeze. This is bizarre. So every time he shouts, and they're actually listening to him, they completely freeze. I'm going to try myself. Oh yeah, they stop. That's good. This is the coolest thing ever. I'm definitely going to use that with the children. Okay, I'm going to get some honey now because I got some cooking to do.
I'm returning the few miles back to Portofrio to cook a dinner in honor of Napoleon's love of these special Alban bees. Honey-drizzled char-grilled chicken with garlic and rosemary potatoes.
Napoleon's house is behind me, and for my recipe, I'm going to use Robertos Honey, which I think is going to be fantastic with my chicken. And where we start is right here with the chicken. I'm going to spatchcock it because that is the best way when you griddle or when you put on the barbecue. So what you do, see the cavity in the back here. Get the knife on one side of the backbone and put pressure to break it. Just like that, okay? Then turn the chicken around and open like that. Nice and easy. And there you have it. Okay, for the marinade, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to use honey. Now honey is going to do two things. Number one is going to caramelize the chicken, and then on top of the skin, and it's going to make the chicken very crispy. I'm going to put a little bit on the chopping board as well, because later on I'm going to roll the chicken. Probably about 3 or 4 tablespoons, absolutely fine. Then I go rosemary. Just take the leaves out, throw onto the chicken.
To the marinade, add 2 cloves of crushed garlic, 3 tablespoons of tomato puree, salt, pepper, and olive oil. Then rub it all in.
Okay, your griddle pan needs to be really, really hot. And the inside goes on the hot griddle pan, and this is the sound that you want to get. Now, to make sure you cook this evenly, I got another tip for you. Get yourself a brick, any brick will do. Wash it, dry it, and then just place the brick on top so the pressure is going to make sure that all the chicken cooks at the same time. Just like that.
Cook the chicken pushed down by the brick for around 15 minutes on each side until cooked through. Add in a squeeze of lemon when you turn it over.
Now, the skin side is done. Look at that. This is exactly what I wanted. Don't be afraid, it looks burned by honey. It's going to be nice and sweet. Let it rest just the way it is for about 5 to 6 minutes. We're going to cut it. It's going to be fantastical.
To go with my chicken, I want potatoes done in a simple Italian style, using new potatoes parboiled and quartered earlier. To a hot pan, add olive oil, sliced garlic, and rosemary leaves.
Garlic, rosemary is a match made in heaven with potato.
Then go in with the potatoes and season. Fry for just 4 to 5 minutes and the job is done.
Just delicious. Okay, now let's get on with the chicken. The way I do it, get yourself a sharp, big knife and start to cut into pieces. So leg first. Look at that. This chicken is cooked to perfection. Moisture in the middle, crispy outside. You're gonna taste the bitterness of the burnt honey, but yet the sweetness coming through.
Pile on a nice chopping board. Give a final squeeze of lemon juice and let everyone tuck in. Just how Napoleon would have liked it, I'm sure.
There you have it, my Isola d'Elba griddle chicken. Tonight, my Mediterranean journey of discovery brings me to a place that is in the top 5 Italian islands to visit. And it's Italy's 3rd largest, the Tuscan island of Elba.
And I'm continuing to the southeast tip, the region of Capoliveri, where the ground is rich in minerals. For centuries, iron mining was a main source of employment on Elba, supplying iron to mainland Italy and Europe. However, it was a brutal, labor-intensive work, and after the final mine closed in 1981, there are a reminder of a tough life many Albans lived.
Quindi l'ultima volta che sei stato...
So I'm truly honored ex-miner Filippo has agreed to show me inside the Ginevro mine, where he once worked.
27 years that he's been working down this mine. But Filippo was saying that he's actually feeling quite sad at the moment. He hasn't come back here for a long time. The last time he worked here was in 1981. He lost many friends here that they died. He saw loads of injuries that he will always stay with him. Quindi come è iniziato il fatto che ha lavorato in miniera?
Beh, io ho iniziato che io sono entrato...
Working in 7-kilometer long tunnels and extracting iron from as deep as 54 meters below sea level was very dangerous. So finally, the mines were closed.
Che cos'è quella stanza là?
Quello noi lo chiamiamo refettorio, il punto in cui a una certa ora del giorno...
Si mangia?
I've just asked, I can see a room there, a dark room in there, and I said, what is that? He said, it's the kitchen where everybody used to meet and eat. I'm gonna check it out.
Miners like Filippo worked long 8-hour shifts, 6-7 days a week, so their daily half-hour break was precious time.
All the miners, they used to get together in this very room to eat something. In here, whatever the shift before had leftover, they used to put in this little basket here, and all the miners, they used to eat whatever was from the night before. Trying to tell one of my kids to eat the leftover from last night, that will be a challenge. Poi dopo che si beveva?
È una cosa molto importante per il minatore.
So to drink, I said, water, I guess. He said, no, not many people liked water. It used to be wine. Red wine, vino rosso.
Beh, rosso, nero o bianco,
Bianco.
fa lo stesso.
Whatever
Basta
wine,
avere il vino.
as far as it was wine, they would drink everything. What an honor to be here, and I have lots of admiration for people like him that did this kind of work, because somebody has to do it. And grazie.
Tanto piacere.
Grazie.
I've been really moved by Filippo and the work of the miners, and hearing how important the local wine was to them has given me an idea. So I've picked up a bottle of Elba rosé made with Aleatico grapes famously grown here on the island to use in a recipe I'll rustle up on the beaches of the mines.
I think this is going to work really well with my next recipe, because I'm doing a saffron risotto with peas and grana padano cheese. And sorry if you see me tapping up and down, the sand is extremely hot because, as you can see, it's all black sand, full of iron around here, and it's really, really hot. Let's get the risotto started. You just need to learn a couple of basic tips, which I'm going to go through with you, and the job is done. So, first of all, get yourself a large pot and start to add olive oil to toast the rice grain.
Coat either arborio or carnaroli rice in the oil and stir for 3 minutes. It's going to create a seal around the rice, so when it cooks, it will stay nice and al dente.
Never look at the oil bubbling around each rice grain. That's tell me that it's toasting beautifully. At this point, straight away, finely chopped onion in the rice. Now, the trick with the onions when you make a risotto is to make sure that you don't color the onions, so don't overcook them.
Stir for another 5 minutes until the onions are soft and translucent. Then it's time to add a glass of my Elba rosé.
It's going to work really beautiful. Remember, whenever you cook with wine, you need to allow the alcohol to evaporate and the flavor of the wine to stay in. So put the wine and let it bubble for a couple of minutes.
You can use any rosé or white wine found more locally to you. Just make sure it's dry and delicate.
Okay, now let me prepare the saffron. A little expensive saffron is, but the flavor goes a long way. So you want a nice pinch of saffron strands. And then the way to do it, I got some vegetable stock over here, which is warm. Just put some vegetable stock straight in and start to melt the saffron into the stock. Now look at the way the color is changed immediately. Amazing.
Pour in all the saffron. Add 2 ladles of vegetable stock and simmer.
All right, so now at this point, the secret is simple. As soon as you see the rice absorbing the stock, then you add a little bit more. Remember, from the beginning until the end, maximum 20 minutes of cooking.
Once the rice is cooked, but still has a light bite, add in the other ingredients. I'm using peas, but you can add meat or fish or whatever you fancy.
Now let me show you the #1 tip when you're making a risotto. How do you get the creamy texture at the end? Do you add cream? Absolutely no. The only way to do it is butter and cheese.
Add a large knob of butter, then grate in the same amount of grana padano, a cheese similar to Parmesan.
Now is what is called
mantecatura in Italian. Mantecatura is when you stir the butter and the cheese very fast into the rice. See what's happening as you're stirring, you're releasing the starch from the rice grain, the butter and the cheese, they get together, and you get a natural creaminess to the risotto. I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper. Oh, I can really taste the rosé. Beautiful.
Serve up the risotto, garnished simply with a small grating of cheese and drizzle of olive oil.
Look at that.
Simple saffron risotto with peas, made with local rosé wine. What a perfect way to end my Mediterranean adventure here on the island of Elba.